Hello, everybody. Us hairy game lords this evening have been playing this. Good Cop, Bad Cop, Promoted. What do we think? Find out. So here I am, the bearded lady, and this is a first for, well, what has been a long time of lockdown. Us hairy game lords have socially distanced played this evening in the back garden as the lockdown is beginning to ease. Good times. And so we got to play this. Now then, if you have ever played Good Cop, Bad Cop, you will know the kind of premise of the game. There are some good cops, and guess what? There's some bad cops. Yes, there is. And you don't know who's who at the beginning, but you will start to figure out as the game goes on. Now, the great thing about that game is Good Cop, Bad Cop is that it is what could be a nice little filler game. It's for 4 to 8 players. It's that kind of social deduction. The artwork on the cards is nice. In fact, the card quality is nice as well. Good times. But this game, the expansion Promoted, adds a whole lot more game into what is already a good game. This takes what is a relatively short game, takes it and expands on it, which is what you kind of want, I would guess, from an expansion. So what this game does is it makes it so you need to play 5 games now, and over the course of those 5 games, if you are on the winning side, then you get to pick up medals at the end of that particular game that you're on. Those medals have a value, a face-down value, which will basically say who's won the game in terms of collecting up points at the end of that game. No one knows how many points you have, and even if you did particularly bad, like me, I did lose, but there was only 1 point in it. So good times. But yeah, really like the game. So you when you trigger certain medals on certain locations, you get promoted. Hence the name of the expansion. I'm going to let some of the others explain what some of those promotions may be. Talk about maybe the impact of the equipment on those promotions as well. But let me just tell you, if you like Good Cop, Bad Cop, then this expansion is a must, and I will not play Good Cop, Bad Cop ever again without this Promoted expansion. So go back it on Kickstarter.
Boom! Aussie Phil here. How you doing? I tell you what, it is so good to finally get back to playing a game in the flesh.
Naked gaming is fine.
No, we're not talking naked flesh. I'm wearing clothes. None of that nonsense. That's Pete.
They call him Naked Pete for nothing.
But yeah, to actually physically touch a deck of cards. Yeah, gold! It's gold. But just real company, real game components, and the card stock was brilliant for a Kickstarter promo. I mean, this thing's not even out there, and it's like final version. And as Ange said, when you reach certain levels of promotion, you allow yourself to draw 3 promoted cards and pick one from that 3. So there's a little bit of strategy to think of what will work for me in the next few rounds. One of the cards I picked was the Coroner, which allowed me to pick an honest or a crooked card from an eliminated player's pile and swap it with one of my own. So if I found myself on the losing team, then I could conceivably switch allegiances, become part of the winning team, get more promotion coins, get more skills. I loved it. I cannot wait to play this again. We did it with 4, and it takes a few rounds per game to work out who's who when you have a sneaky peek at someone's card for one of your turns, or someone reveals a card to choose an equipment card. Once you get the idea of who's who, the game's on. And to play it with more than 4 would just bring this thing alive. If you haven't played Bad Cop, Good Cop, get it, and get this as part of the Kickstarter, because it's fantastic.
Hipster King here, and
Hi, Hipster King.
welcome back. It's so good to be back, and to have a different background this time. Not my game shelf, but the Hairy Game Lord game shelf, and it's good to be back here. We're out in the garden, so obviously if there's background noise, apologies for that. So, Good Cop, Bad Cop, what did I think? Loved it. It's just what we needed this evening. Little bit of light fun, that kind of backstabbing, social deduction, lots of trying to work out who's who and what they're doing, and risking. Do you shoot early? Do you? And it just had. It was such a good game to sort of get the guys back together with. It was loved just that kind of when you're trying to work out who's who, but at the same time protect your own sort of secrecy. I think probably 4 out of the 5 times was either the kingpin or the agent, which meant that I was regularly getting shot at. So the base game was brilliant in itself, but you can immediately see with playing the expansion just how good it makes it. I brought a couple of cards that I just absolutely loved that I picked up. So you have in the base game, you've got these anyway, but you've got your equipment cards. There they are. There are some new equipment cards that come in the expansion. The 2 that I really enjoyed, you've got penetrating rounds. But when you shoot at somebody, not only do you do 1 damage, so this is brilliant if you've got a good idea who you think the other leader is, because it allows you to shoot them twice. So they take the wound, but they also then take the second shot that will kill them, unless, of course, taking the first wound, they get an equipment card that lets them back that out. The other one that I liked was the smoke grenade. I was in an absolute mess. I'd got somebody lined up in their next turn to shoot me. This allowed me to reverse the turn order and have a bit more chance of getting out of the way of that.
Atmospheric noise.
Yeah. So the promotions, brilliant. The 2 that I got in the game, I didn't manage quite to get to the 3rd promotion. The first one I took was the SWAT officer. Brilliant. This one allowed me to have 2 equipment cards, which in this game you're only allowed to keep 1, and you have to use it if you want to take another one. So being allowed to hold 2 is really, really valuable, because some of those allowed you to get extra medals and things like that, even if you lose, which is brilliant. And then this one was an absolute beauty. So the sharpshooter, what the sharpshooter allows you to do is, in the game, you're aiming at somebody. If you want to shoot them, you can only shoot at the person that you're aiming, unless you get the sharpshooter promotion, in which case you can change your aim just before you shoot, which, if somebody has shot somebody just before you and you've realised they've then been wounded, and therefore you know where the other leader is, you can then change your aim and take that leader out. So added so much, lots more thinking to be done. This isn't a deep thinking game, it's a hell of a lot of fun though. I absolutely loved it.
And post-apocalyptic haircut James here. No, slightly bearded James. Look at this. The lockdown is getting to us all. This has been such a great night. Being able to be back in the flesh with the guys, and being able to play a game around the table at proper right distance, because we're really good boys here. And this has been such a fun game to play together. If you're looking for a game to play with your mates around a table, what better game than this? And Promoted just takes it up a notch. It really kind of fills out quite a short game into something that is meaty, enjoyable develops, and you actually start building some stories as you're going through it. One of the things that I really enjoyed about this game is, the expansion is that as people promote, and you promote very quickly, even if you're rubbish, you promote at this game, you gain specialisms. So you already heard about Pete being the sharpshooter SWAT team member. Flippin' heck, he was a tank. On the flip side, I was the pencil pusher who could give his equipment and his gun to somebody else, which I actually never did because I didn't trust these guys enough. But I was also the warden, and that came in very handy because I could make one other player drop their equipment. And normally it was Pete because he's just carrying everything around like a beast. The other power that came up quite a bit was Ange being the Sheriff Ange in town. He would be able to fire at a person and then immediately pass the gun to somebody else, which in this game, dropping a gun's like a big, tense moment because anyone could grab it. But he was able to tag team up with his teammates. Now, we played it with 4, with 8 players. This game really kind of starts bouncing around a lot more. And the promotions will play off each other so well, especially when you got the different synergies between the teammates going on. I was quite a peaceful cop, always good, kind of, and Pete was just a machine of destruction. So as you go through the game, you actually start to clock different players. So, for example, I knew that if Ange got a gun, to watch out. And if Pete got a gun, to watch out. Phil, not so scary, but he actually survived very well and won the game. That's another thing that we really loved about this game, is that when you get to the end of the game, you don't actually know over the 5 who's won it. Some people won't like how the coins you got, you win the points, and on the underside there's a hidden value. Some people won't like that there's chance as to who's won or not won, but we think that adds just to the end of a fun, silly game. There's a chance that even the worst player, sorry Ange, could win it. After all, this game and its expansion are fantastic. You should look it up. It's so much fun, and a really great take on social deduction games.
The 2 that I really enjoyed, you've got penetrating rounds. These are brilliant because because they've got the word penetrating in, for goodness sake. How much fun is that?
Get it? Get it just for that.
And this allows you to shoot twice.
There's the outtakes.
That's the problem with reviewing on your own. You just don't do out. There's not the comedy gold. Oh, right. The most. So the penetration. Oh, we're so childish. It's unbelievable.